Hello, everybody, and welcome on the last of the open days at Monash University. It's not quite as sunny as the last 2 days, but less windy, which has got to be a good thing. This is a library presentation about writing for uni versus writing for Year 12, something that you need to consider if you want to come to uni and to Monash University in particular. My name's Steve Joyce, down there on the screen. I'm from the library, the library at Monash University is obviously somewhere like currently at your Year 12, you go to the library to get your sources, your resources. The library functions in the same way as an archive of things that you can borrow in order to do your studies. We have many libraries across the campuses. I'm from the Matheson Library at the Clayton campus, which specialises in arts, education and business economics. And then there's other libraries specialising in engineering and nursing and law, etc., etc. These libraries offer, your resources, your sources for your work, but also we have services that we offer to you as students moving forward that will help you with your life as a student to acquire those skills that you need for when you move into the workforce or into future endeavours. Obviously, we have librarians, and they can help you finding sources. They can help you evaluating whether a source is an academic source or not an academic source. They can help you with citing and referencing as you write, as you move into writing for university. You're going to need to buttress and support your ideas with the ideas of others through citing and referencing. It's a very important thing to acquire. And then there's the learning skills advisors like me. And we're here to help you with those generic learning skills. You'll have a really important relationships with your lecturers and tutors for each of the units that you take as you move through your course. And then underneath that, there's people like myself and the librarians that can help you at the library with questions about, particularly about academic writing. From my perspective as a learning skills advisor, academic writing, interpreting the assignment questions, how to critically analyse things, managing your time, which is really important if you're going to get through this and enjoy it and do well. Speaking orally, like now, you're going to have to learn how to present orally as well as write your papers. Integrity, teamwork, exams, all these skills that you acquire at university will prepare you for your careers, ongoing careers in the real world, in a sense. So looking at writing for Year 12, which is obviously a burning question for you right now, versus writing for uni, there is quite a significant step. You're probably already starting to tinker with writing for Year 12 with starting to think about how you relate to your writing and how you can insert your voice. But generally, in secondary school, you're learning to write by summarizing other people's work and rewriting other people's work. There's not that much emphasis on you finding your own voice. At university, on the other hand, there's much more emphasis on you having something of your own to say, of bringing something of your own to an argument, to have an independent voice, to say something unique or original, or to take a point of view. So that kind of writing development is a big step moving from Year 12 into university. And as you can see, there's a nice little reference down here to show that I'm referencing my work as I go to create trust with the reader and the listener. So what is your voice? Your voice will distinguish, your writing voice will distinguish between your words and the words of others. Obviously, when you're going to write something, you're going to write up what other people have said, but you also need to put into that what you want to say about it as well. And voice, obviously, your voice will become your identity, your scholarly identity. So you're going to, as you move into university, start coming up with your own ideas, your own conclusions about a set of facts, your own points of view about facts or arguments that are out there. You're going to take a position or a stance. So what does it mean to get your own voice? Well, part of coming to university, well, you know, let's say it's not quite it's a virtual rather than a visceral one at the moment, but it's to become part of the scholarly conversation. You know, you're going to start talking to other people. You're going to start talking to your sources. You're going to start reading other people's voices in the literature. You're going to start engaging and forming your own opinions in a conversation with other scholars. You're going to be looking and reading works and discussing works that you may agree or disagree with, or have, you know, ambivalence about, or anywhere in between. And you're going to have to start putting into your work your voice and make it relevant, and make your point of view relevant as you move into writing at university. So how are you going to do this? Well, you're going to have to do some reading. You're going to have to become an expert in what you're studying. You're going to have to acquire good knowledge. You're going to have to evaluate and synthesize that knowledge and integrate it into what you know, okay? So that it becomes part and parcel of who you are, in a sense. And then you're going to write it or speak it in your own interpretive, critical voice. Now, in university and academia in general, critical is not the negative thing that we think of out in the real world, where it's all criticized is often seen as negative. Critical in an academic world can be either positive or negative, or somewhere in between. It's an evaluation. It's not a criticism in a negative sense. It's a critical analysis or an evaluation of something. These are the qualities, these are the things that you're going to have to develop in order to find your own voice. And what will happen, of course, when you develop your own voice is that you'll start, you'll start looking at things, you'll start developing some skepticism potentially, you'll start to be cautious about certain things. You might disagree. You might just point out how some things are good in some areas and not so good in others. So you start looking at limitations. You may agree with people. You may endorse these people. These are great people. These are great scholars. You may subtly adjust other people's works by nuancing them. And you may become a confident critic of other people's work and have a confident voice and support other works with confidence. All these things are aspects of what you can do when you become a critical analyzer, a critical voice. You can see there's a positive and negative. It's not just negative, critical, being critical. So writing for uni, what it will do is it'll develop these skills that you can then take into the workplace. These skills will help you recognize that there are many ways to consider or understand things. So it will give you multiple perspectives. It'll help you critically analyze and evaluate evidence so that you can work out how you see things, but based on evidence, not just fake news and something you heard from down the street, but based on what you've read. You'll be able to develop how to explain that to a reader, your point of view, how to logically set it out in a way that is persuasive, that uses reason, that uses evidence. These things are all crucial, in a sense, to what you're going to be doing in a job. People aren't going to come up to you and say, can you tell us something that we know already? They're going to come up to you and say, what can we do? What do you think we should do in this situation? Can you write a report and present to us on this problem, orally or written? So all these skills that you can bring, that you can learn in writing or speaking at university become critical to how you do your job later on. So coming back to the library, you can see now that just a little slice there of some of the things we do. I just want to remind you that we are there for you, that the library has, apart from having all these books and DVDs and all kinds of magazines and collections of all kinds of artifacts that may be useful in your studies, it's not just an archive. It also has really soothing and peaceful study spaces. It has a raft of services and staff that can help you. Your main relationship will be with your teachers and your tutors, but underneath that, there's some experts, like myself or like others, who can also help you develop your skills at university. So when you think of the library, when you come to Monash University, think of the library as something that you can engage with and that can help you with your studies. Because as our sponsors say, 77% of students who use the library achieve a distinction average. But seriously though, from my personal experience, everybody who's ever come to the library and asked me a question or said, Steve, can you have a look at this? They've all gone away and got a better mark than if they hadn't. And so, when you come to Monash, or if you come to Monash and take part in the great experience that Monash can give you in terms of education, think about the library and think about what the library can do for you. If you've got any questions, put them into the chat, or if you've got any questions that bubble up later on, you can always pop back to the booth and put something in the chat there. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the open day, and hopefully we'll see you around at Monash University. All the best. Oh, I better give you a little bear wave.